chickens, or even houses with people for that matter. Add to the picture you're forming of where we live, our rich life kind of place, a rebuilt, recycled, rehabbed 1951 Chevy half-ton pickup made up mostly of dents so deep you can see little puddles here and there in the hood after a rain. A truck my father says is not only immortal, but an absolute classic, parked in the mud near the trailer, and you get a rough idea of how rich we really are. The truck has, I kid you not, an antique AM radio with what Dad says are vacuum tubes instead of transistors, so it doesn't come on right away, but has to warm up first. It works, but only seems to get country songs and some crazy, fast-talking man whose voice slam booms loud enough to make your ears bleed as he offers to sell autographed pictures of biblical heroes, including Jesus Christ. Oh, there's a garden. A huge and extensive garden that we keep alive with the river water pumped by an old sump pump my father repaired. He's a true marvel at fixing things and making them last. For example, the old truck. We grow all the vegetables we eat, although sometimes I swear they taste a little like the solvent and chemical runoff that we think are illegally dumped in the river by the nearby businesses. We feed the pigs leftover scraps from our own food, like potato peelings and cuttings from the garden, and stuff from the dumpster in back of the grocery store, and every fall a man comes with a small stock truck and takes away the pigs. A week later, he brings back pork chops and bacon and hams wrapped in white waxed paper with stamped labels. We put the packages in an old rejuvenated freezer, see 1951 Chevy truck, page 6, sump pump, page 7, and after we forget a little about the individual personality of the pigs, which is the reason we never named them in the first place, we have meat for a year. My father says whether you buy the meat in a store or you raise the livestock yourself, you cause the same end for the pigs, and if you take responsibility for your own meat supply, then at least you know it's higher quality and you're not being quite as hypocritical. Same as a tomato you grow yourself, or eggs from your own chickens. But the whole pig growing and eating process bothers him all the same, and when the truck comes to get our animals, he has to turn away and not watch them leave. Pooter, who is my best friend and who I see every day even when we don't have school, says he likes our place better than his. More on that later. His real name is Peter Haskell, but he insists on being called Pooter because there was an old-time actor named Peter Haskell who had a bunch of bit roles on TV shows he can't remember the name of, and he doesn't want people to confuse them. Anyway, Pooter says we, my dad and I, are about 3/4 of an inch from becoming vegans, or at least vegetarians, because of how we raise our own meat and then feel bad about eating it. Considering that Pooter lives on hot dogs, Slim Jims, and chicken nuggets, which he admits are sludgy goop extruded, great word, extruded. It means pressure squirted leftover chicken bits into nugget-shaped molds, and then deep-fried in fat, and has never, literally never, eaten anything that didn't come in a box or a can or a to-go carton. He thinks vegetarianism is something on the order of a crazy cult religion. Pooter says if I ever become a full-on health food fanatic, we'll still be best friends, except that he won't want to walk too close to me or get sneezed on in case he might catch it. I'm not offended by that, but I did start to keep a little distance from him in case the extruded meat-loving thing might be contagious too, because I once saw him eat an entire large can of those little gray Vienna sausages with his fingers, then drink the juice, even though it says on the side of the can they are made of something called, wait for it, meat byproducts, which my dad says are lips and eyelids and noses and the skin around other body openings, and maybe even roadkill, because if you say something as vague as meat byproducts, you're as good as admitting you know that it could be anything. Dad says that in these giant factories, they go ahead and feed whatever's left over around the meat processing plant through a big old grinder and let it hit the extruder, and boom, there's your meat byproducts right there. You never know, Dad says. You just never know what you're getting from so-called big meat.